How's it going, everybody? Back for another one of my update videos. I went to the antique mall that I frequent today, and I got a handful of records. I got some cassettes as well. There's two dealers at the antique mall that basically deal in records. They deal with records. When Eli came out, he understands. There's a couple booths at the antique mall that have records, but there's two of them that are basically devoted to records. So, um, I've talked to both of these gentlemen that deal with the records quite a bit, and they both give me kind of a heads up when they're going to restock. And today was the day that the one guy brought in a few new records to put in his crates. So, and I also have two records that I ordered offline in the past couple weeks. So, gonna jump right into it. Hope everybody's doing well. And today was beautiful. It's been like 50 degrees in Illinois here, and it's November or it's December. Shit, it's like December 14th, I think. Yeah, it's December 14th, and it's 50 degrees today and yesterday. So, anyway, one of the records I ordered offline. Pink Floyd, The Delicate Sound of Thunder. This is a two-record set. It's a live from 1988. I've been wanting this for a while. Ever since I finished reading the History of Pink Floyd book written by Nick Mason, the drummer. And so naturally, I wanted to kind of revisit my Floyd collection. Listened to a lot of it, and I searched this out online and found it for a pretty decent price. So I picked it up. Sounds great. Obviously, there's no Roger Waters with the band at this point, but it still sounds great. Great sound, great performance, and yeah, two-record set. So it's a good listen. Delicate Sound of Thunder, Pink Floyd. Just happy to grab that. And I bought this as well. This is minus the Bear Planet of Ice. We're actually listening to the CD at the moment. This is kind of like an indie rock, alternative rock, whatever. Very melodic. They have a tendency to have hints of progressive rock in their music. Some songs are just kind of instrumentals and just kind of space you out a little bit, which is why I love this band. Planet of Ice, this was their third or fourth album, I want to say. It came out in 2007. So I remember I was probably 19, 20, 21 when I bought the CD, because I had first heard of these guys, and I bought their earlier albums, and then in 2007 I knew they were releasing Planet of Ice. So they finally reissued it a couple months ago, and I finally got my hands on a copy, and it's a great album. If you can hear it in the background, these guys are definitely very talented. I just love Minus the Bear. Another band that came out of the 2000s that I love. It came on there's a purple vinyl. And there's a little bit of white mixed in there, but sounds great. Heavy duty 180 gram vinyl, 2-record set. And this was another band that was very influential in my drumming growing up. Like I said, it's probably 2021 when this came out. So, Minus the Bear Planet of Ice. Great album, really. Alternative, a little progressive at times. On their earlier albums, they had kind of like instrumental interludes that I've always enjoyed. They just released it was a B-sides album called Lost Loves, and prior to that they had one or two albums I didn't really care for, but this is the creme de la creme. This or Highly Refined Pirates are both amazing albums from Minus the Bear. So, great album. That was it for my online orders. So, I went to the Antique Mall today, and the gentleman that was restocking his crates with records, he had a lot of metal. For me, metal, I'm kind of iffy when it comes to metal. He had a couple records I already have. When it comes to 80s hard rock or 80s metal, I'm kind of, I can't. Some of it I like, some of it I really don't like. But I picked up a couple. He also had records that I already had. He had Dio, a couple Rainbow records that I already have in the collection. But these are the ones I picked up. These were like $2-3 a piece, very cheap. So, starting with Thrasher. This is, from what I read, this is like a kind of like a super group, kind of pieced together by the record label. That's what I've gathered from reading up on these guys. They look kind of cool, and for $3 I couldn't pass it up. It's on the Combat record label, which I believe the Blind Illusion album that I have, I believe, is also on Combat Records. But Thrasher. What I did notice is Billy Sheehan plays bass, and I love his bass playing. He's an amazing bass player. And I gave this a listen, side one, and it's definitely 80s metal, and it's kind of up my alley. It's really good. It's not too cheesy, and it's not too generic, so it sounded pretty good. So I'm kind of happy I picked it up. Thrasher. This one I did not have in the collection. AC/DC, Blow Up Your Video. AC/DC was one of those bands that I never really cared for too much when I was younger anyway. Because all I had heard from AC/DC was the popular stuff that you hear on the radio. And then probably 2 years ago, probably about 2 years ago, I came across some of their earlier albums, and I listened to the entire albums as opposed to just the singles or the hits or whatever, and I really enjoyed them. And now I have quite a bit of AC/DC in my collection. I did not have this one. $2 for this he wanted, so I said why not. Heat Seeker, I think, was maybe the hit on this. This is 1988, so I really don't know a whole lot about this album. Their first 2 or 3 albums I think are fantastic, great rock albums, and I don't know too much about this, but I plan on listening to it later, and so I didn't have it, and it was cheap, so I snagged it up. So I'm pretty sure Heat Seeker, I'm pretty sure I've heard that song before. Mean Streak, maybe. AC/DC, Blow Up Your Video. This was kind of a cool find too. Saxon, The Eagle Has Landed. There we go. It's a live album from Saxon. The only album I have the only album I own from Saxon. I used to own, I think it was Strong Arm of the Law. I think that was the name of the album. I'm not too sure, but I sent it off as, I think I sent it to Vance as a VCLT, because at the time he was really he was digging Saxon and trying to build his Saxon collection, so I sent him that record. But I found this for $3. The Eagle Has Landed. It's a live Saxon, and this is actually a French pressing of this album. So I'll give it a listen, see what I think. Like I said, there's some 80s rock or 80s metal that I don't really care for, and there's some that I do, so we'll see. A band I do really enjoy is Judas Priest. Hellbent on Leather. Judas Priest. I listened to this. This was great. I love this album. It's a classic Judas Priest sound. This was from 1978. I want to say. I can't see. I think it was 1978. Hellbent on Leather. Judas Priest. And my Priest collection's really gotten. It's become. I've got a lot of Judas Priest in my collection now, and most of what I've heard from them I've enjoyed. So, Hellbent on Leather. I did listen to this. This was really good. I liked it quite a bit. So, and then there's this album, Ram It Down by Judas Priest. I haven't listened to this. Kind of cool cover. I have not listened to this yet, but so this is also from 1988. So maybe I'll spin this later. We'll see. Yeah, can't really give a good review or opinion about this guy. I haven't heard it yet. So, Ram It Down by Judas Priest. Then I found this is DFK, Les Dudek, Mike Finnegan, and Jim Kruger. I know of Les Dudek. I know that much. This is a white label promotional copy, so I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, 1980. I know Les Dudek. I really enjoy his solo work, so I figured I'd grab it. I think this was $3 for this, so I grabbed it. And it's a white label promo, which is always fun. I picked this one up. This was also $2. Marshall Crenshaw, Downtown by Marshall Crenshaw. This kind of has like a, kind of remind me a little bit of Elvis Costello. Kind of has that kind of vibe to it. A good, kind of like a pop rock album, I guess, from 1980, 85. So, Marshall Crenshaw, Downtown. It was produced by T-Bone Burnett. And I was looking at the inner sleeve, and he had a lot of good musicians accompanying him on this album. So, yeah, Marshall Crenshaw, Downtown. The last one I picked up, this was kind of, it's hard to explain. On one of the Facebook pages last night, Zach Zeke was showing Trapeze, and Medusa was the one album that him and Steve Dar were raving about. And I knew this was at the Antique Mall, and it had been there for a while. I just always kind of overlooked it, never really looked into it. But from what they were saying, it was a great album and definitely worth picking up. So I went and got it today. Fairly cheap too. I mean, and I did listen to this. This album is absolutely awesome. I just listened to this probably like an hour ago or so, and this is a great album. I don't know why I never looked into this. And they're a 3-piece, you know. I mean, for a 3-piece band, it's a fucking great record. A great, like, hard rocking record on the Threshold. Great record. Yeah, it's just a good rock record. I struggle at times to find adjectives to describe these records, but this is a fantastic album. Trapeze by Medusa by Trapeze. So, definitely recommended. Awesome album. So, yeah. So anyway, after I was talking to the gentleman that was bringing in the records, and he he was at an estate sale, which is where he got a lot of those metal albums, and with it came a lot of cassettes. And he said he doesn't sell cassettes. He really can't make a profit off of them, so he let me basically pick what I wanted out for free. He wished me a Merry Christmas and said, take what you want. So I'm just going to run through these really quick. I'm already at 15 minutes. Halloween. This is Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2. Halloween. Then we got I Want Out, Halloween Live. Halloween Walls of Jericho. I'm not too familiar with Halloween, so. And then he had Striper and God We Trust. Striper, I believe they were like a Christian metal band. And what's funny is the other dealer at the Antique Mall had some Striper records, and I figure out since I'll check out the cassette, see if I like it, and if the records are still there, I'll go pick them up. And they have Striper, To Hell with the Devil, and Soldiers Under Command by Striper. Then there was The Ultimate Sin by Ozzy Osbourne, The Ultimate Sin. Diary of a Madman, Ozzy Osbourne. This is one album I would love to have on vinyl. I would absolutely love to have this because Randy Rhoads' guitar playing is phenomenal. Phenomenal guitar player. I have this on vinyl. This is the Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne. But Diary of a Madman, I would love to have that. So my Ozzy tapes and 2 from Judas Priest. I didn't think I had this album, but I do. I have this on vinyl. This is British Steel by Judas Priest. And the last one is Sin After Sin, Judas Priest, which I also have on vinyl. So yeah, those are all free, and that was pretty cool of him to do. I was happy. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Feel free to leave comments, messages. It's always welcomed and appreciated. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Be good to yourselves, and as always, we'll talk soon.